Right now, as you're watching this, if you're an American woman over 50, you have a coin flip chance of breaking a bone in the coming years. Not from a car accident or extreme sports, just from living your normal life. Getting out of bed, reaching for something in a cabinet, or even sneezing could fracture your spine. Hey everyone, welcome back to our video series called The Calcium Code, where we cover various aspects of calcium deficiency in America. And in this episode today, we're exposing one of the most devastating health crises facing American women, the epidemic of bone fractures after 50. This is a serious issue that no one really pays attention to. Watch this video completely for the women in your life who may be struggling with this massive problem, yet do not know how to deal with it. The statistics are absolutely staggering. Of the estimated 10 million Americans with osteoporosis, about 80% are women, and approximately 1 in 2 women over age 50 has a high chance to break a bone because of osteoporosis. We're not talking about minor fractures, we're talking about life-changing breaks that can end independence, mobility, and in many cases, life itself. But here's what nobody's talking about. This isn't just about getting older. This is about a perfect storm of biological, lifestyle, and medical factors that are specifically targeting American women. Let's break down exactly why this is happening and what every woman needs to know to protect herself. The Estrogen Cliff. The first and most devastating factor is what I call the estrogen cliff, and understanding this could literally save your bones. Women lose up to 10% of their bone density in the first 5 years after menopause. They lose about 50% of their trabecular bone and 30% of their cortical bone during their lifetime, about half of which is lost during the first 10 years after menopause. Think about that for a moment. Half of your bone loss, accumulated over your entire lifetime, happens in just 1 decade. Your bones are literally dissolving at an accelerated rate. Why does this happen? Estrogen is your bone's best friend. It tells your bone-building cells, osteoblasts, to keep working while keeping your bone-destroying cells, osteoclasts, in check. When estrogen plummets during menopause, it's like removing the traffic cop from a busy intersection. Chaos ensues. The tragedy is that many American women aren't told about this biological reality until after it's happened. They go through menopause focusing on hot flashes and mood swings while silently losing the foundation of their skeleton. Estrogen deficiency leads to rapid bone loss, which is maximal within the first 2 to 3 years after the menopause transition. This isn't a gradual decline, it's a steep cliff that most women aren't prepared for. The Lifestyle Amplifier. But menopause alone doesn't explain why American women have some of the highest fracture rates in the world. The second factor is what I call the American Lifestyle Amplifier, our modern way of living that makes bone loss even worse. Now that's a combo of processed foods, chronic stress, sedentary lifestyle, calcium, and vitamin deficiency. Most American women spend most of their lives indoors, leading to epidemic vitamin D deficiency. Without vitamin D, your body can't absorb calcium properly. You could eat calcium supplements all day long, but your bones won't get the benefit. Then there's our processed food diet. Our diet is loaded with phosphorus from processed foods, which leaches calcium from bones. We're consuming bone-destroying compounds while failing to get bone-building nutrients. Add chronic stress, which describes most American women over 40. Chronic stress increases cortisol, which breaks down bone tissue and interferes with calcium absorption. Finally, the sedentary lifestyle. Your bones respond to mechanical stress. If you don't use them, you lose them. American women are spending more time sitting than any generation in history, and their bones are paying the price. It's like we've created the perfect storm. Plummeting estrogen plus vitamin D deficiency plus processed foods plus chronic stress plus sedentary lifestyle equals a bone health disaster. The medical system failure. The third factor is what I call the medical system failure, and this might be the most infuriating part of this entire crisis. Most American women aren't getting bone density testing until they're 65. That's 15 plus years after menopause began stealing their bone density. By then, it's often too late for prevention and you're in damage control mode. Even worse, when women do seek help for menopause symptoms, many doctors are hesitant to prescribe hormone replacement therapy due to fear from outdated studies. Estrogen hormone therapy prevents osteoporosis by reducing the breakdown of bone, but many women are denied this protection. The medical system is treating bone health as an old woman's problem instead of recognizing that bone loss prevention needs to start at menopause, not decades later. Clinical trials have shown that estrogen use can attenuate bone loss and reduce fracture risk in postmenopausal women. Yet millions of American women go through menopause without this discussion even happening. It's like we're watching women's skeletons crumble in slow motion and then acting surprised when they break bones in their 60s and 70s. The statistics. Let me share some statistics that will absolutely shock you about the scope of this crisis in America. The prevalence of osteoporosis in Caucasian postmenopausal women is 14% of women aged 50 to 59, 22% aged 60 to 69, 39% aged 70 to 79, and 70% of women aged 80 and over. We're talking about an epidemic that gets worse with every passing decade. 1 in 2 postmenopausal women usually have osteoporosis, and most are likely to suffer a fracture during their lifetime. But here's what makes this even more tragic. Hip fractures are deadlier than many cancers. Within 1 year of a hip fracture, 20 to 24% of women do not live. Of those who survive, 50% never regain their previous level of independence. We're not just talking about broken bones, we're talking about broken lives, lost independence. And this is largely preventable if addressed early enough. Approximately half of women older than 50 experience a fracture, most often of the hip, spine, or wrist related to osteoporosis. Every second woman watching this video is statistically destined for a fracture unless something changes. Remedy. So what does every American woman need to do to protect herself from becoming another statistic in this bone health crisis? First, if you're approaching menopause or in early menopause, demand a conversation about bone health with your doctor now. Don't wait until 65 for your first bone density scan. Get a baseline DEXA scan at menopause so you know where you stand. Second, have an honest conversation about hormone replacement therapy with a knowledgeable provider. Menopause hormone therapy prevents bone loss and can be prevented by menopause hormone therapy. The benefits often outweigh the risks for many women, especially for bone protection. Third, address the lifestyle factors immediately. Get your vitamin D level tested and optimized. Start weight-bearing and resistance exercise. Clean up your diet to reduce processed foods and increase whole food sources of calcium and other bone-supporting nutrients. Fourth, don't rely on calcium supplements alone. Your body needs magnesium, vitamin K2, vitamin D, and other cofactors to build strong bones. Food-based nutrition is always superior to isolated supplements. Fifth, find healthcare providers who understand that bone health is a lifelong journey, not something that starts at 70. You need advocates who will work with you proactively, not reactively. Final thoughts. Look, the statistics I've shared today aren't meant to scare you. They're meant to wake you up. 1 in 2 women over 50 break a bone because of osteoporosis, but you don't have to be that statistic. This bone health crisis among American women isn't inevitable. It's preventable. But prevention requires action during the menopause transition, not decades later when the damage is already done. If you're over 45, this video should be your wake-up call. If you love a woman over 45, share this video with her immediately. The prevention window is narrow, but it's not closed yet. Hit that like button if this opens your eyes, and watch more videos from the Calcium Code for more life-saving information. Comment below. Are you going to demand better bone health care, or are you going to wait and hope for the best? Your future self is depending on the decisions you make today. Don't let menopause steal your independence, your mobility, or your life. Take action now, while you still can. In our next video, we'll expose the silent bone loss crisis in American kids and teens. You won't want to miss it, as this affects millions of children nationwide, and you need to make sure you're doing everything right for your child not to fall in this trap. Until then, stay fit, stay sharp, and we'll see you in the next video.